Good evening, lifestylers. Happy Friday, my favourite day of the week. I'm just coming live because I have decided to talk about clinging. I know, weird, huh? But I've got a really nice filter on my live. It's got little twinkly bits going on. I thought it was quite nice. So Buddha's joined me, and it's sparkling in the background. All very mystic. We like. So I always take on my yoga practice throughout the week, not as something that I attend to when I'm just on the mat, but I live my yoga practice. And what people tend to think is that this is a huge generalization, by the way, that yoga is purely something that you do on the mat, and it involves leggings, and it involves stretching, and it involves creating really nice shapes with your body. But that is just, and there's a lot of my friends who are yogis, that's the tip of the iceberg. All of us from any walk of life, in any business, can experience a yogic awareness. And I want to talk about clinging, because we have good and we have bad experiences, don't we? Some of the ones are in between, like if we go for a walk and we see the trees, we see the birds and everything, we don't actually clock those and store them. We see them, we let it go. But there's experiences that we have in our lives that are painful, and there's experiences, I've even got like bits on the end of my fingers, magic. And we have really pleasurable experiences as well. The human condition likes to attach themselves to these experiences, and this is really the source of all human suffering, is clinging. And we all do it, and basically what happens is our heart is one of the most full story. It's a place where we can store these kind of like feelings. We can use them as remembrance, and they make a massive impression on us. So for instance, like this week, let's keep it in general terms, that you had an argument with your boss at work, or you had a really, really like incredible night with your lover, or you fell out with your mum, or something happened in a store where you just like lost your temper, or something happened, a split second of something happening in the street, and it just infuriated you, or road rage, classic. You know, we can keep those experiences stored for a long time. It's like we almost have a filing cabinet of storage, especially here. And that means that from the age of 0, when you start to experience things, we can store them in our bodies. And like your physical body, when you're doing something, like let's take yoga example again. If you take yourself onto the yoga mat and you start to move, your body will naturally create resistance, and that resistance is almost like a protection. It's stopping you from hurting yourself. So there's other storage spaces in your body that when you experience like these feelings, that you meet your resistance. So if you've got like you're having a great time with your partner, and it's gorgeous, you're having an amazing time, and you don't want it to end, you can attach yourself to that. You can attach yourself like, I don't want this to finish. You kind of get to the point where you like fear it ending. And the same with pain, which is on the other side of the scale. You actually get really, really knotted up in the pain of something, not wanting it to happen. So instead of human beings being elaborate suitcases, you don't have to pick up this stuff and carry it around with you. You don't have to put it in here and keep hold of it. The experience is there to move through us. So if you see yourself not like a vase or a vase, however you want to call it, but see you more as a space that things move through, you're less likely to become physically and emotionally attached to them, and they're not going to hurt you as much. So if you can find, well, there's so many different ways that we can learn to let go. So you got clinging, and what we're going to do is we're going to let it go. There's so many different ways that you can do that. You can meditate. You can go to a yoga class, which is the first step. I assure you, that's the first step from dropping these held energies, especially in your heart. Or you can read the right books. If you want to know any more information about this, and if you feel like you're the type of person that's just clinging on to pain, or you're clinging on to pleasure, because these can become ways of creating behaviours that are extreme, then let me know, and I can help you move in the right direction. So these extreme kind of zones of energy are storehouses, and they can create depression. So you're basically stopping the freedom of energy flowing. That's all you're doing. So for instance, thinking about the heart again, when you're in love, and the heart just opens, doesn't it, like a flower? You're open to receive, you're open to the energy, you're open to everything. But when you're worried about hurt, you close, you tighten, you contract out of fear. And that are the very two elements of energy moving. So you don't have to be the storehouse of your experiences. You can let them go. So yeah, I just thought that'd be a perfect start to your weekend, is to have a think about your week, anything that's come up, any experience you've had that has caused an impression on you. See if you can dissolve it. See if you can let it go. See if you can let it pass through you. And see if because if it's not serving you, then you let it go. If it's not serving you, let it go. And if you want to know any more about this, if you want me to send you in the right direction of things, that behaviours and experiences and energy blockages, let me know and I'll help you out. Other than that, have an amazing weekend. Love you lots. Bye.